Yo, what's up fam? It's Legend and I am back with another video. What if Naruto was neglected before getting the proper training? The like goal is 7 likes, but if we can get more that would be nice. But let's get into the video. What just happened? Kurenai asked in shock, witnessing her student quit the match before he even started. That was the wrong opponent for him, Naruto commented, earning everyone's attention. What do you mean? Hinata asked. Fu is just like me, Naruto and Gaara, Yugito said. I understand, but that doesn't explain why he quit, Kurenai asked. She's number 7 beetle, Naruto said, making Kurenai's eyes widen further. His bugs probably look at it as a queen since hers is stronger. Shino felt it and knew there was nothing he could. Karui of Kumo versus Shizuka of Nadeshiko. Yeah, finally it's my turn, Karui cheered. Be careful Karui, I can tell that she is skilled, Samui said. If you underestimate her, you'll lose. I agree, Yugito said, jumping in the conversation. Karui smiled and jumped down. Don't worry, I got this, Karui said, leaping over the rails and landing on the ground. Shizuka flipped over the rails and landed across from Karui. Are you two ready? Hayate asked the two kunoichis, receiving a nod from the two. Then you may begin, the Chunin said before jumping away. Karui gripped the hilt of her sword in her back, while Shizuka pulled out 2 short ninjatus instead of her legendary sword. Huh, she's not going to use her longsword, Sakura asked. She's underestimating Karui, Yugito said, narrowing her eyes on Shizuka. No, it's more than that, Naruto said, gaining everyone's attention. If it's just like mine, she doesn't want to use it because it could be her trump card. She's testing her before she uses it. You got it, Karen said. Originally I wasn't going to use mine until I found out my opponent was a Jinchuriki. But Shizuka is not underestimating Karui-san, she's more like testing herself. I'm just excited that there's a bunch of weapon users here, Tenten commented. This is going to be an awesome match. That's true, I can tell both these girls know how to use a sword, Yugao said, behind her student. Kakashi appeared and walked towards the group, ready to watch the fight. Karui, being the impatient one, charged Shizuka first with a blur and tried an overhead slash and went for a horizontal attack. Shizuka blocked with her left sword and went for a reverse slash. Karui flipped back and attacked Shizuka again with multiple rapid slashes, but Shizuka was blocking with ease, frustrating Karui more. It's over, Naruto said. Sakura and Ino turned to Naruto with a confused look. Yeah, Otudo, it seems like it is, Hinoka said, standing beside the blonde. What do you mean, how can you tell? Kakashi asked. Yeah, Naruto-kun, how can you tell? Neither of them got hit yet, Ino asked her fellow blonde. Yeah, enlighten us, Sakura said. Naruto sighed and shook his head. Shizuka style, from what I can tell. She was meant to take down multiple opponents at once. She leaves no openings in her defensive and her reaction time is good. Not only that, Karui is getting frustrated and it'll soon mess with her attacks. Samui adds, folding her arms under her bust. Plus she hasn't used the sword yet. And there's the last thing, Karen said. What's the last thing? Tenten asked, curious by what the sword users were saying. Ever since the fight started, Shizuka has not moved an inch from the spot she was standing at, while Karui started to sweat. Yugao said. Everyone else's eyes widened and turned to the fight. Enough, Karui yelled, jumping back. Try this, Liger Fang, Karui surrounded her blade in lightning and charged. Shizuka surrounded her blade. Tiger Guillotine. The attack met and caused a huge explosion with lightning striking in random directions. Shizuka jumped out the smoke, towards the ceiling and stood upside down. Karui chased after her with lightning still surrounding her blade. Shizuka jumped from the ceiling, meeting her halfway as the two attacked each other with wind and lightning, creating an explosion again. The two landed across from each other and charged each, with steel clashing back and forth. Shizuka saw an opening and slashed at Karui's shoulder, landing the first blow. Karui panicked and jumped back, grasping her shoulder. "Damn it," Karui seethed. "You are skilled," Shizuka said, gaining the Kumo's kunoichi attention. "But I'm faster and my affinity trumps yours." "Whatever, I'm still going to win," Karui said as the lightning around her blade turned black, sucrosing. "I wanted to save this but I have no choice." "I see, this is your best move." "I respond in kind," Shizuka said, sheathing her ninjutsus and grabbing her legendary sword. "I'll still win." Black Liger Fang, Silver Tiger. The two charged each other with a black and silver blur towards each other, swords colliding. The lightning and wind combined and formed a tornado around the two before exploding. Everyone covered their eyes, waiting for the dust to clear. When it did, everyone turned to see Karui and Shizuka back towards each other, both standing still. Naruto noticed blood coming from Shizuka's arm and she smiled. "Nice attack and sorry for the sword." As the words left her mouth, Karui's sword broke and shattered. "Damn it," Karui said as she fell face first to the ground. Shizuka breathed out and sheathed her blade. "The winner is Shizuka," Hayate announced. Shizuka jumped up as the medics took Karui away. Shizuka approached her team and turned to Naruto. "What did you think?" Shizuka asked the blonde. "You're a wind user and use a sword. Looks like I have some competition. Although your wind style seems different from mine. Yours seems to focus on a wide range, while I compress it." Shizuka smiled and nodded. "Right, you have a good eye." "Now my reward," Shizuka said before pecking Naruto on the lips. "I'll do more when we're alone." "Naru-kun, you're going to give me a lot of grandkids," Tsunade said, making Naruto and most of the kunoichi blush. "As long as I'm first," Enko said, making Naruto's face turn red. Next match. Yoroi of Konoha ve Yugito ni. Yugito smirked and turned to Naruto. "Watch me, Foxy-kun," Naruto said as she jumped over the rail. "Sure Kitty-chan," Naruto responded with a chuckle. Yoroi jumped over the rail and landed across from the female Jinchuriki. "I'm sorry to say you won't make it past me," Yoroi said. Yugito just smiled. "Well see, now let's start. I could use a new scratching post." "Are both contestants ready?" Hayate asked, earning a nod from the two. "Then you may begin." Yoroi charged Yugito with average speed, leaving the Jinchuriki unimpressed. Yoroi palms started to glow with chakra and he tried to grab Yugito but she dodged effortlessly. "It seems he's trying to grab me and not hurt me. Wonder what he's trying to do," Yugito thought. She was immune to poison, and she could heal from most injuries. Curiosity getting the best of her, she let Yoroi grab her and see what was going to happen. "I got you, bitch, now your chakra is mine," Yoroi said, chuckling evilly. "He shouldn't have done that," Naruto, Fu, B and Gaara said at the same time, confusing everyone else. "So he wants my chakra. Matabi, why don't we share?" "Gotcha kitten," Mabui said as she poured her chakra in Yugito's coil. Yoroi stopped chuckling and started screaming in pain. "What's going on?" Yoroi asked. He tried to pull his hand away but Yugito grabbed his wrist and held it. Now, I want to make sure you get your feel," Yugito said with a small smile. Yoroi was screaming. He needed his hand to deactivate the jutsu, but she wouldn't let him go. Stop, I give, Yoroi begged. Yugito smiled and let him go. Winner is Yugito ni of Kumo, Hayate said. Yugito jumped up to the rail and approached the blonde with an expectant look on her face. Naruto stared at her for a while until he realized what she wanted. Really, you too? Yugito just stared and smiled. Enko was chuckling, while Tsunade rubbed her temples. Yugito saw this and thought of an idea. Don't worry, Tsunade-sama. If I have a daughter, I'll name her after you. Tsunade hugged the girl and smiled at her grandson. I like her. There's something about blondes. Yugito smiled and turned to Naruto. Now my prize, Yugito said and kissed the blonde in a deep kiss and pulled him closer by his collar. Yugito moaned into his mouth, making everyone blush. Yugito pulled back and licked her lips. Delicious, Yugito said, leaving Naruto dazed. The next match will be between Omoi of Kumo versus Shikamaru. I forfeit, Omoi said. I don't want to fight those strong guys later. I'll get cream and sent to the hospital. Then a lot of beautiful nurses will fall in love with my good looks, but I'll break their hearts when I leave. Omoi, shut it, Samui said. Damn, he beat me to it, Shikamaru said, earning a glare from Ino. What, you were going to quit? Ino asked in disbelief. After Shikamaru's supposed match, Rock Lee fought Akatsuchi, and with his superior speed, he was able to win with ease. Tamari fought Tenten, and because of how outmatched she was, Tenten lost. But Naruto offered to train with her. Choji quit against Gaara out of fear, confusing the redhead Jinchuriki. So he tried to talk to him and hoped they'll fight one day. The final match was Ino versus Kuretsuchi, and Ino lost to her dismay. She tried to shoot Senbons at Kuretsuchi, but she wore rock armor to protect. Ino tried to use poison gas like Shizune taught her, but Kuretsuchi countered with smog, and it also got rid of their sight, to the misfortune of Ino. Kuretsuchi finished her with a rock fist, beating her, ending the Chunin exams preliminaries. Okay, all the winners line up, Enko ordered. The genin did as they were told and stood in a line. Hayate approached them with a box and held it at the genin. Okay, now you each will pick a number from the box, and whoever picks the number after yours will be your opponent. Now, who's first? How about you, Naruto? Naruto walked forward and put his hand in the box, digging around, and pulled out a number. Not surprising, I'm number 1. I hope I'm number 2. Samui, Karen, Kuretsuchi, Lee and Gaara thought. Samui went next and pulled 7, making her frown. Sakura went and pulled 5, relieved she didn't have to fight Naruto. Shikamaru went and pulled 9 and shrugged his shoulders. Rock Lee went next and pulled a number. Yosh, it seems that I'm the lucky. My number is 2, so that means I'm Naruto opponent. Prepare, my worthy rival, we'll see whose youth is stronger. Lee cheered. Huh, did you say something? Naruto asked Lee, making him fall back anime style. Kuretsuchi went next and pulled her number. 6. Huh, looks like I get to pound your teammate before I have my rematch. Kuretsuchi said as she looked at Sakura, who gave her a determined look. Gaara went next and pulled his number. 4. Gaara said. Shizuka went next and pulled her number, then smiled. Well, it seems I get to beat not 1 but 2 Kumo nins. Shizuka said, revealing her number to be 8. Samui narrowed her eyes at the comment but gave a small smile. Tamari went and pulled 10. Wow, I get the lazy buffoon. You better not chicken out. Troublesome, why do I have to fight a girl? Shikamaru complained. Hinata went next and pulled 12. Huh, I don't know who I'm fighting, Hinata said, looking at Karen, Yugito and Fu. Karen went next and pulled her number. Really, another Jinchuriki. Gaara's eyes widened since he was the only Jinchuriki who pulled besides Naruto. Karen turned to him and smiled, then looked at Naruto. You better win. I want to see what you are made of. Same to you, Naruto responded. She won't see you in the finals, I will, Gaara said, staring at the two. Hinata was nervous because it meant that her opponent will be one or maybe both the female Jinchuriki. We have one extra. The last match will be a three-way match. Now here's the roster. Enko said and showed the matches on a board. Naruto Uzumaki vs Rock Lee, Karen Uzumaki vs Subaku no Gaara, Sakura Haruno vs Kuritsuchi of Iowa, Samui of Kumo vs Shizuka of Nadeshiko, Shikamaru Nara vs Subaku no Tamari. You have a month to train, and within that time, the village will be visited by nobles and leaders of different countries. Any questions? Yeah, will the winner be the only one to be promoted? Shikamaru asked. No, anyone could be promoted or no one might. It depends on the judge and your performance, Hiruzen said. Everyone nodded and was dismissed. Naruto and Sakura approached Tsunade, Shizune and Yugao. So sensei, will you be able to train me this month? Naruto asked. Yugao smirked. Of course, you and Sakura are going to train with the three of us, Yugao said as they left the forest and headed towards the village. Naruto, Sakura, wait. The group turned around and saw Kakashi behind them. Where are you two going? I need to train you for the month, Kakashi said with an eye smile. Naruto and Sakura looked at each other in confusement. Kakashi-sensei, I'm already going to train with Tsunade-sama and Shizune. Yeah, I was going to train with Yugao-sensei, Naruto said. What about me? Kakashi asked, hurt by his students' words and the fact that they didn't want to train with him. Oh please, Enko said, appearing with Hinata. Be honest, if the pink Aimo was here, you wouldn't have even worried about the two. Am I right? Gee, that's not true, Kakashi defended. Well, sorry to say this, but they're our students and apprentices, Tsunade said as the group walked away from guilt-ridden Kakashi. A few hours later, Hiruzen was in another pointless meeting, the subject being the Uchiha. Hokage-sama, what are we going to do? About what? Hiruzen asked. Sasuke-sama didn't make it to the finals. The village will seem weak if the strongest clan is weak, a merchant said, with the civilian side nodding. Well then you are lucky, Tsunade commented, gaining everyone's attention. My grandson is in the finals. Remember, he's a Senju in Uzumaki. Since he beat Sasuke, that means my clan is the strongest like it always has been. So don't go writing off the other clans. That's correct, Hiyashi said. My daughter beat our clan genius and she's part of the finals as well. And even though I'm not from a clan, my daughter beat Sum-san's son with a punch, no offense, Mebuyuki said. Sum chuckled. No problem, it might teach the pup to not look down on others. Still, Hiruzen, Homura started. We should put Sasuke-sama in the finals, plus there's an odd number of opponents. We have a spot. Oh, and who do you suggest he fight? Not one of the contestants is interested in him. Rock Lee beat him with ease, Naru-kun already beat him, and the rest of them are interested in fighting Naru-kun, Tsunade said. He can fight Gaara, Kaharu said. Fighting and defeating the son of a cage will show the audience the strength of Uchiha-sama. Hiruzen was quiet and turned to Shikaku. What do you think, Shikaku-san? Shikaku sighs. Troublesome, but I object. It'll be seen as favoritism from our village, but we can change the situation by having Naruto reveal his true name. With both his parents and Tsunade, he'll draw the crowd, and if he wins, we'll gain the same results. Tsunade thinks about this and nodded. I think it's safe as well. Kuritsuchi and Samui have a crush on my grandson. So I doubt Iwa and Kumo will do anything to him if we form a political marriage with each village, Tsunade said. I agree, Sasuke might be a Uchiha, but he's just as important as the others. Hiruzen said. Now I'm sure everyone is tired, so you're dismissed. They tried to get the TEM to the finals. Naruto asked his grandmother as they, alongside Sakura, Shizune, Ino, Enko, Hinata, Yugao, and Kurenai, headed to the hot spring. It amazes me how the fools are always ready to kiss the emo's ass just to be in his good grace. Enko said. His clan will die out if he doesn't change his ways. Kurenai said. While Foxy-kun already has 3 girlfriends ready for his offspring, right? Sakura and Imouto. Enko asked Hinata and Sakura. The two blushed, but Ino pouted and Shizune was sad. You mean 4, me and my student already made out during our training. Yugao said, earning a gasp from the rest as they turned to Naruto, who was blushing. Can we get to the spring already? Naruto said, embarrassed as he walked to the stream. After paying the receptionist, they walked to the spring doors. One said women, one said men, and the last said mixed. I guess I'm going in alone. No you don't, Enko said, grabbing Naruto's arm. We're engaged, so there's no problem, Enko said. I'll be going as well, if you don't mind, Yugao said. Come on you two, it's inappropriate, Kurenai said. Hey you 3, the group turned to see Hana walking towards them. Hey Hana, just about to have some R&R with my future hubby, alongside Yugao. Enko said. Hana turned to Naruto and gave a small smile with a blush. Well, hello there, my name is Hana Inazuka, Hana said as she rubbed the boy's whiskers, making him blush. Hey, Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto replied, leaning into the girl's palm. Nice to meet you. Hana smiled and licked his cheeks, making his face turn red. Likewise, do you mind if I join you in the mixed bath? Hana asked. Tsunade narrowed her eyes at Hana. She marked him, he's her destined mate. Not shocking since he is my grandson and his father's child. I'll be joining as well, I don't want to be a great-grandmother just yet. Tsunade said. Hinata, Shizune, Sakura and Ino looked at each other before nodding. They didn't want to lose to the other kunoichi. But guys, I am ending it here. Remember to hit the like and sub button. Tomorrow I think I am gonna start uploading on my other channels. It's something I've been thinking about, so yeah. But I am out and we'll see you in the next video. Stay blessed fam.